Flight boss, bitch. For sure. Listen to the Mount Evan and Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And this video right here is about the art of trapping spirits to help you give birth to your world or to create your world. AKA, this is things that they used to do way back 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Now, this is one of the art, this is one of the tricks, and this is like how we kind of utilize trigonometry to kind of understand vibrations and trap a vibration and make a consonant or a sign or a sigil. I might didn't say consonant right. Don't judge me, y'all. But for the most part, a sign or a sigil or a container and something that attract that energy that we're receiving. And now we have that energy harnessed in a container that we can utilize for our liking at any given time. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you take the religion, the spookism out of it, and understand this what we're all doing as spirits to create and expand, to spiritually expand and contract of more levels of awareness, aka birth, death, transformation. So here's the thing, right? So you need to understand this too. When we start to talk about trapping spirits, way back like 3,000, 4,000 years ago, their concept, they always tied the unknown to the spirit. So every time they do blasphemy is when they call the spirit a name or a title. So the spirit is thy, no is thee, no is no thing, no shape and form. So for the most part, the spirit create light. The spirit create awareness. So when the spirit become aware, that form of creation right there develops into consciousness and to energy that develops into everything that we see today. So for the most part, spirits do this. Spirits create sparks and charges. So if you can trap a spirit into a container, that spirit will give that spark to that container, and it will be trapped in that battery. But you have to create the battery, and the battery is a virtue or a principle. So keep that in mind also. And therefore, when a spirit want to get born into a realm of reality, then for the most part, it will ride that body of light, and light is a form of information, and that form of information turns into a container once it bends in on itself. And if a spirit resonate with that desire based upon natural selection, or how it likes that light because it attracted to it, because it looked like a piece of candy to that spirit to wrap itself and clothe itself in to experience that realm of reality through that chakra, right? When a spirit actually do that and cling on to that as a routine or pattern, it actually give more spark and charge and help the actual master, that the spirit, the god or goddess that created that container, to actually make that container more sufficient, and that spirit give that container more life. So there's an interaction of both parties going on right here. So I have to break those things down clearly for people to understand. But for the most part, like I'm saying, when we start to talk about damn. All right, now you are actually trapping spirits, but their concept of looking at it back in the day is actually wrong. So you might get lost into certain terminology, like when you hear words like him, him, her means like that curve. You know what I'm saying? So like that serve or receive in some way, shape, or form. So that's a virtue or principle. Or when you hear things like him, you know what I'm saying? That's light that may have went below the horizon, and then ha ra, that's lights that go above the horizon. So that'd be the masculine versions of light. So when you think about terms like Lord or Father, these are different terms for light, you know what I'm saying, in some way, shape, or form. Or ghost, you know what I'm saying? These are different virtues or principles, all the way till you get to the God one, which the Abrahamic one is truth. So that's their concept of how they build, or their Masonic concept of their actual rituals that they practice and things of that nature, beyond y'all religion concept of it. But for the most part, that's a whole different story. But when we start to talk about understanding the way light works, right? See, you're trapping a spirit that create light, that create the spark, that create the thought and the feeling, and it give that golem or that dead light charge, and give that dead light spark, aka more many versions of those lights, to actually get that thing going, to get that ball rolling, to start to manifest into your life. So make sure that you're doing these things for positive magnitudes, because a lot of times by default you guys be in negative low vibrations, so you manifest bullshit in your life with this very same ritual that we all do. As long as you know what you're doing now, then you actually can get on the right end and do it in a more sufficient way. Now, here's the thing, right? So once you get a certain feeling or thought or something like that, right? give it, and it's one that you like, but you unsure of how you got it or whatever like that. A lot of y'all blame it on the external world. Y'all may blame it on y'all's favorite songs or whatever like that. Try to find it yourself, and then you'll be able to find that substance in many different things. And then if it'll be a treat if it do come as your favorite show or something like that. But for the most part, try not to lean and back and so have the external world support that for you too much, to the point that when nothing in the external world via person, place, or thing can mirror that feeling and emotion that you always like to go into, then your spirit is going to be dry, because your spirit always trying to get high. All spirits get high, aka off a feeling in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a negative or positive one. That's just how spirits create and do alchemy and come into realms of realities. You know what I'm saying? Just not being lost into the world and creating clouds that just father away into the figment of imaginations until they can solidify on a desire long enough to be sucked into a realm of reality or a black hole to be born into, which is the same thing. Another video. You know what I'm saying? Because we get lost into terminologies and things of that nature. But for the most part, like I said, right? So once we start to talk about trapping a spirit, you are now harnessing that spirit's energy, because now whatever idea or thought or feeling you gave that container, the spirit in it is giving it life, and now you could direct where that energy is going towards and things of that nature, and redirect it into your favor. So what you want to do is pick a particular time of the day every day to actually cater to that energy, to actually water that seed. And slowly but surely, that spirit and you and group of other spirits, depending on how broad your imagination is, will make that come into your life a lot more faster than a lot of other people who may complain a lot about manifesting within your life. So for an example, like I said, right, you might get this feeling and a thought that you like, right? But here's the thing, this feeling and a thought, you don't know where that came from. But let's say that you're trying to manifest goals in your life. You might not be spiritually inclined enough to know how to tie the two and two together. Tie the esoteric realm with the exoteric realm. Try to tie the internal realm with the external realm in some way, shape, or form. So you could take what's uncommon, what's mystery, what's mystic, what's in mysterious ways, what your spirit do, and make it relatable to the point that we can all understand it when we try to combine ourselves and be spiritual magicians. So, for the most part, right, let's say that you just got a goal, or a goal that you want to experience, right? So you already know how you would feel if you was to actually experience that. But you have so many things in front of your life right now that you probably don't even know how to find a piece of that to obtain to yourself, unless you're long lost into la la land in your imagination, where you're spiritually inclined enough to know how to pull from there from yourself, without, you know what I'm saying, getting too lost and coming down here and making people look at you like you're not making sense or utilizing your life in a respectable way that's organized. So here's the thing. Let's say you got a goal or a talent, whatever like that. Now let's say you get this sporadic feeling or emotion from anything in the world, or from your deep down self, that have nothing to do with your goals. What you want to do is you want to give that feeling and that thought a name, and you want to give it a value, aka a name, a number, and a value, aka how much it means to you. So that's you starting to create points, the pointing system. You got an idea, problem, and solution about it. That's a triangle. So that's already the frequency. That's already you giving it a thought, a shape, an image. You know what I'm saying? A name, a title, a virtue or principle. And now you got to add a value to it. How much that virtue or principle mean to you? How much does that light, that container, means to you? That's going to be how much you're spiritually holding on to that membrane, to that memory, to that mentality, to that one mentality, to that chakra, to that light form you just created. Your children, your Adam and Eve, you know what I'm saying, your child. So you're shaping and forming your child right now, and you're watering it. So that's letting you know how relatable and how much your motherly feminine energy you're going to give that child. Otherwise, it's going to be negligent towards you once a spirit come into it and give it life. It's going to be a rebellious spirit against you, because you didn't treat that shape and form right, the dead light right. So the spirit that go into it is going to utilize that form to go against you in some way, shape, or form. That's a whole nother video. Don't be getting into witchcraft and none of that shit if you ain't deep into the shit for real. This shit ain't play like it's a trend. Other than that, like I said, right? Cause you'll fuck around and try to and think this shit is pseudo or whatever like that, and laugh about what I'm talking about, and your ass end up having about 5-10 mermaids and ghosts hunting your ass to your grave. Motherfucker, be careful watching my goddamn channel if your ass don't know no spiritual energies. For real. Now, like I said, right, once you shape and form that container, right, and if you nourished it, you loved it, and you gave it a value, you gave it an image, a shape, a title, a name, a number, whatever like that, but you gave it an energy from your signature. You gave it a map and you pointed it out. An idea, problem, and solution. Oh, this the idea of it. This the problem of what it takes for that idea to come true, and this the solution if I was actually in that circumstance, right? And then you're gonna create the two more points after that, right? That's relating it. Two itself represents relating, but adding 2 points to three add an emotion, a value, because for the most part, the idea, the triangle, as far as the platonic shape, and I ain't into Platonism, but for the most part, we're understanding all reality, right? That's just any kind of concept. When we start to talk about the triad of how we create shapes and forms and blood cells, of how we come onto ourselves from a spirit. You see what I'm saying? So, for the most part, what's going to actually happen is once you create that 3 point, now you create the 2 points after that, a conclusion. Whether that solution was actually positive or negative, and whether that was a good solution or not, and then you can add on a value, how much that mean to you, and if it's negative or positive, whether you would care or not, whether you want to soak into them waters, because that's what value and that's what emotions and that's what water. And anytime you hear, even in the Bible, anything that's correlated to water is talking about the feminine energy or receiving or reflection, or energy that's talking about your emotions in some way, shape, or form, or the feeling of something. So, for the even when you hear daughters or women in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? So these are just anthropomorphizing concepts, thought forms, feelings, and emotions, and looking at these things like lights and virtues and principles. And when a spirit get influenced by these light rays, they say, okay, ooh, this person got influenced by God, or this person got influenced by this virtue, or this person got influenced by this principle. But they gave it names. So you see what I'm saying? You might hear things like king this person, or prince this. You know what I'm saying? A king is a person that created a principality. You know what I'm saying? And a principle, that's what a principle is, a principality. So keep that in mind also. And principality teaches individuals. So this is all kind of like following stars or Masonic kind of concepts and things of that nature. But before we get too lost into that, like I said, Masons wrote y'all Bibles. That's what you need to understand. I don't care if you, before you get into, I don't want to get lost. But like I said, right, once you create that shape and form, and nourished it, and things of that nature, the spirit is going to resonate with that shape and form that like it and go into it, and group of spirits come give it life. Now you have an esoteric golem in some way, shape, or form. Now you can start to take that light, that's light in weight, light in mass, because that's all it is light, right? And you can start to make it heavy. The more spirits that help you add their spark to it, and you giving your spark to it, you can start to drag it down here, and it start to take shape and form as materializing as things that look like down here: people, places, and things, circumstances, periodic tables, and things that could go in your favor. Now here's the thing, right? For the most part, you have to put in the energy work. So pick a time out of the day that you can give your time to that energy, whether you create a ritual or spell, or you just sit and listen to your favorite song or something like that, and then you meditate and clear your thought of everything else but that thought and feeling of that energy. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, when you pick a particular time of the day to actually do that as a routine and a pattern, then for the most part, you will be starting to manifest whatever that you have created as a container in the first place, and having these spirits help you with that, you trapped in that light. Because really, when I say trap, I know a lot of y'all get lost up under the Abrahamic witchcraft that they didn't practice on y'all. So a lot of these terminologies have bad frequency, have bad vibrations behind them. But a lot of times these are just things that we're doing spiritually, period. Otherwise you wouldn't even be trapped in your own motherfucking body. That's another video. But like I said, right, this video is about of the art of trapping spirits, harnessing energy to be able to create and give birth to your world. So basically that's what this video is about. You get a feeling and emotion that you like, stop picking all the negative ones, give it names and titles, stop prejudging. That's how you cling on to the negative ones. And then for the most part, create a circumstance every day where you can start to meditate or give emotion or give a ritual spell to that energy, and the more time of the day you give to that particular golem, right, other spirits that resonate with that shape or form will jump into it, help you give it life, and then slowly but surely you will start to manifest that feeling and emotion that you gave a name and title to in your life. But if you are spiritually a witch or a wizard, you will know how to direct that towards a goal, and that feeling and emotion will be directed esoterically towards that goal that you're trying to manifest down here in the third dimension. And then once you manifest that goal in the third dimension, here's how you know that your witchcraft worked. Because soon as that goal via person, place, or thing is in front of you, you're going to have the same feeling that you had via the energy that you was putting in your ritual and spell in the first place. So the shape and form is going to look different. Previously, it might not look like you had anything. Future wise, it looked like you got a whole bunch of shit. So you got to remind yourself at the moment. Don't get lost into the moment. Learn how to soak it up, and then you'll realize there's a common thread between both events when you didn't have and when you are experiencing. The common thread is you are experiencing the same or similar feeling and emotion, and that lets you know that you have took that light from up here and brought it down here. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. And I love y'all from the bottom of my heart.